It was one of those sun-warmed Santa Cruz mornings when the sea breeze mingled with the smell of roasting beans and eucalyptus trees. The chatter of locals and travelers filled the cafe like music. Students with notebooks, couples sharing croissants, a barefoot man strumming guitar on the corner. Sophia, who worked behind the counter most days, always said this cafe was a portal. You never know who'll walk through the door, she'd tell me, smiling. Every cup of coffee comes with a story. She was right. That morning, our little crew had gathered again. Glinda, Sid, Tara Singh, Guru P, Portillo Man, and Eclectic Scout. Their table by the window had become a kind of anchor for the cafe, a mix of laughter, philosophy, and unexpected wisdom. Scout looked especially animated, notebook in hand. I went up to UCSC yesterday, he said. Had the chance to talk with Professor Philip Green, the philosophy guy. We got onto the subject of what it feels like to float down a river. It's easy, right? Peaceful. Hundreds of miles of calm. But why is it that when we hit one rock, just one, that's what we remember? Sid tilted his head. Because the mind loves friction, he said softly. The Buddha would call that dukkha, that moment of imbalance when our desire for smooth waters clashes with reality. We think something's wrong, but really, that rock's just doing its job. Tara Singh smiled, his voice deep and warm. Each bump is a blessing, brother. It teaches us how to find center again, and faster each time. Glinda leaned forward. Maybe it's contrast that wakes us up. Without the bump, we'd forget how precious the float really is. Guru P chuckled. Or maybe it's the universe saying, "Hey, you still awake back there?" Enlightenment with a splash. The whole table laughed. Outside, a busker saxophone wound through the air, the notes rising and falling like the current itself. Sophia came by with a tray, setting down mugs and smiling. I swear this cafe's got the best conversations in town, she said. Makes me grateful to work here. Watching people connect, hearing ideas flow. It's like the heart of Santa Cruz beats right under this roof. Portillo Man lifted his cup. To the rocks, he toasted. May they teach us better balance. Everyone clinked mugs. Sunlight spilled across the wood tables, and the whole cafe seemed to glow. When the crowd thinned, Sophia leaned over to me and whispered, I couldn't help listening to all that about the river. It reminds me so much of my own life. That's when I suggested we walk down to the wharf after her shift to keep the current going. Part 2. The Walk to the Wharf. By late afternoon, the fog had burned off, and the sky turned that perfect California blue. Sophia and I walked from Pacific Avenue down toward the wharf, the rhythm of the ocean already in our ears. The boardwalk lights blinked faintly in the distance. Kids' laughter drifted over the dunes. I love this hour, Sophia said, her sandals clicking on the boards. When the tide's coming in, and everyone's starting to slow down. She looked out toward the water, where pelicans skimmed the waves. You know, Luna, that conversation this morning, it really stayed with me. That whole idea of floating downstream. Yeah, I said, tucking my hair under my hat. It's a good metaphor for everything we're all trying to figure out. She nodded. I think that's why I love working at the cafe so much. It's like I get to witness everyone else's river. People come in drifting through their own stories. Some are calm, some are stuck on a rock, and some are about to hit a waterfall, but they all flow through that same doorway. We stopped at the end of the wharf. Sea lions barked below, gulls wheeled overhead. The sun was starting to dip, turning the whole bay gold. Sophia leaned on the railing. You know what else? When I hit one of those rocks in life, I've started to thank it. It's like, okay, you again? What are you teaching me this time? I smiled. That's real wisdom. Sounds like something Sid would say. She laughed. Maybe I'm learning by osmosis. That crew of yours. They're some of the kindest philosophers I've ever met. For a while, we stood in silence, watching the tide roll in. The water shimmered, the waves rising and falling like the rhythm of breath. Sophia finally said, The river, the rocks, the ocean, it's all the same lesson, isn't it? You can't control it. You can only learn to move with it. I nodded, jotting it down in my notebook before the words could drift away. Move with it, I repeated quietly. Behind us, the lights of the boardwalk began to sparkle. Somewhere a busker played an old Grateful Dead tune, and the music floated out across the water. We both smiled, knowing the river of life was carrying us still. Right through Santa Cruz, right through this golden evening, and onward into whatever waited downstream.
Please click like and then subscribe. Also share this video with your friends. Thank you.